Yo, what is good, YouTube, and welcome back to another JC2K video. In today's video, we are going to be ranking the top 10 best defenders in NBA 2K24 MyTEAM right now, the best defensive cards in MyTEAM, regardless of position. And I think this list is a really good list. It's going to give you a lot of top tier cards. These are the guys you should be targeting. Now, admittedly, I did include a few of the gambling-only Galaxy Opals in this list, but in general, no, I did not include any of the 100 overalls, and there are a lot of good cards that are not gambling-only cards on this list as well, which is a good mix for sure. Before we hop into it, if you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Help me push towards the 25,000 subscriber mark on the channel. I upload every single day. Tons of consistent daily MyTEAM content. Would really appreciate it if y'all do subscribe. Without further ado, let's hop right into it. And let's start off with the number 10 spot, which is going to be, in my mind, Michael Cooper. This Michael Cooper card is 6'7", really nice player build, 6'8" wingspan. And then defensively, I mean, the badges are amazing. Now, does not have a movable enforcer at all, and I believe he is the only card on this list without that badge. It's a pretty important badge, but he has Hoff 94 feet, anchor, challenger, clamps, glove, interceptor, off-ball pass, pick dodger, post lockdown, right stick ripper, and workhorse. Every key badge except for brick wall added. You can add brick wall if you'd like. The defensive stats are all absolutely extraordinary as well. He is an elite level defensive card, and we are at the point where the best defensive cards in the game are near perfect. Michael Cooper is the first of those, and he is relatively close to that near perfect place. Now, tendency-wise, his tendencies are not extraordinary. I will admit 85 contest shot is good, but overall not extraordinary tendencies. But honestly, most cards don't have that high tendencies, and I don't think it's like that big of a deal. So Michael Cooper's a great card. Really, the main thing that he's missing is a movable enforcer, but he's a great overall option. Very good defensive option. At PG, Sidney Moncrief. This Sidney Moncrief is probably the best defensive point guard in the game right now. He's only 6'4". He's the shortest player on this list, but he is still an extraordinary top tier defensive card. He does have a movable enforcer. He's got amazing Hall of Fame defensive badges across the board. Can get brick wall and rebound chaser, which are the only things he's really missing. Defensive stats are also absolutely extraordinary on him, and he's got, I mean, his tendencies aren't extraordinary either. They're pretty similar to Michael Cooper's, to be fair, but 75 pass interception isn't bad, 75 contest isn't bad. I mean, he's an elite level defensive guard without a shadow of a doubt. He steals the ball really well. He's a top tier option. Gets super bumpy, super fast. Lateral quickness is great. He's a defensive monster, especially on the perimeter. On the interior, he's really great too. He's a top tier card for sure. The only reason he's that low on the list, in all honesty, is because he's only 6'4". Scottie Pippen is number 8. Pippen is an older quote unquote card. Card came out what, January? It's been out for almost 2 months now, but he's still an elite option. He's a great offensive card for sure, but defensively is where he really shines. 94 interior, 90 block, 98 perimeter, lateral, and steal. He's an elite defensive card. He's got great defensive badges, comes with everything except for brick wall, which of course you can add. And then again, tendency wise, may not be extraordinary, but not too bad either. 75 pass reception, 80 shot contest, and 60 on ball still take charge tendencies. Not too shabby there. Overall, he's a great card. He's an elite, versatile defender, does everything on the court well. Admittedly, here's the thing. A lot of what comes down to what defines top-tier defense is like a few Hall of Fame badges, kind of opinion on defensive animation, stuff like that. Defense at this point in the year, every card that is on this list is a top-tier card with nearly every single key defensive Hall of Fame badge and near-perfect defensive stats. It does kind of become a little bit of opinion as we get up higher than this list, so keep that in mind. But at number 7, I'm going with LeBron James. The thing about Bron that makes him so good defensively is player build, and he's 6'9", really big, versatile, great animations. Obviously, the stats and badges are also exceptional. He may not have quite as many defensive valves as most of these cards, but he has Hoff, anchor, clamps, immovable enforcer, interceptor, and right stick ripper. He's an elite level defensive wing, can guard bigs, very switchable, guards in the interior at a high level, has every single defensive badge in the game on at least gold, and defensive stats are all 92 plus on every single important area, 92 interior and block, 97 perimeter, lateral, and steal. He's an incredible defensive card, and honestly, I think you could make an argument for him even higher on this list if you wanted to, because of, actually, I am going to put him 2 spots higher, because I didn't realize he had off movable enforcer, and that moves him up my list just a little bit. So I'm moving Bron up to 5. Number 6 is going to be Tyson Chandler, or number 7 is going to be Tyson Chandler, sorry. Tyson is 7 foot. He's a huge, versatile, amazing defensive big, for sure. Elite on the interior, and very good on the perimeter. I do not believe his defensive animations on the perimeter are quite as elite as LeBron's. Obviously, on the interior, he is as good as it gets in MyTEAM. Even as only a pink diamond, he is huge as well, and he contests a ton of shots. I will say, though, he's not a super bumpy perimeter defender. He's not quite the lock in my mind that I kind of thought he might be when I first almost got him. For whatever reason, on the perimeter, his defensive animations don't seem quite as good. Maybe it's a slightly lower speed rating. The 91 speed could contribute. But like, he does have great defensive stats. He's still an incredible perimeter defender, and on the interior, he is as good as it gets. Phenomenal defensive big, without a shadow of a doubt. Number 6 is Shawn Marion. The reason that I had Shawn Marion over Bron defensively is because of the Hall of Fame movable enforcer. I didn't realize that Bron had Hall of Fame movable enforcer. I'm a casual. I literally have Bron on my own team, and I didn't realize that. But looking at Marion's defensive badges, admittedly, they are a little more complete than Bron. He's also got every single defensive badge, and he's got more of them on Hall of Fame. But I will say player build on him is not quite as good. He's 2 inches shorter. Defensive stats are pretty much just as good, to be fair, and his tendencies are as good as Bron's as well, although still not extraordinary. But I do think there is another level that size that Bron gives you, especially as a switchability thing, can be a little bit of an advantage. So I give Bron that slight edge, especially now that I know he's got that Hoff movable enforcer. But they're all amazing, amazing defensive cards. Myles Turner is who I would put at number 4. I understand he's a gambling only card, but he's a really dang good gambling only card. It's a shame that honestly he was gambling only, because this card's a card I would love to have. He is amazingly versatile defensively. Anchor, brick wall, clamps, movable enforcer, interceptor, post lockdown, rebound chaser, pretty much all the key badges that I would want. He's got literally everything except for 94 feet. I can kind of live without 94 feet. Again, he's a big. It's not that big of a deal. His perimeter stats, I will admit, are not quite as good as Tyson Chandler's, though. But I still feel like on the interior, he is absolutely amazing. Although I will say, like, looking at the card, I might be gassing a little bit. I think I'm putting him a couple spots lower. I'm looking at his perimeter stats, and I think Tyson's better. Size-wise, too, Tyson is an inch taller. I think this is a fairer list. I'm adjusting on the fly, but we're going to move Myles Turner down a few spots. I think this is a little bit fairer and a little bit more even, to put it like something like this. Number 3, I am going to go with Gerald Wallace. This Gerald Wallace came out just a week or 2 ago, and he is legitimately as good as it gets as a defensive wing, and I think he's about as good as it's going to be, in all honesty, as a defensive wing. A 6'7", really big, bulky player build shooting guard. Defensive badges obviously are exceptional. He's got the Hoffa movable as a guard, as well as everything else. He's got 97 speed, 95 interior, 97 perimeter, 97 lateral, 97 steal, 95 block. That's extraordinary. 95 plus across the board. And then tendency wise, I mean, they're not insane, but they're not bad either. 85 pass reception, 70 on ball steal, not too bad. He is a absolute menace on the defensive end of the court. I do believe he is actually better defensively than Bron. I think that's actually a fair spot. I love this Gerald Wallace card, and I wish I had him. I'm not going to have him, but I wish I did. He'd be amazing to have. James Worthy is number 3 for me, or number 2, I should say. I think he's basically Bron on the defensive end size-wise, and honestly, his defensive stats and badges are also just as good, if not better. 93s across the board, all the key stats. The badges are extraordinary. His player build is humongous, and he's got so many defensive hops. Comes with every single key badge and everything upgradable that you want to add, as well. Like, obviously, put ankle braces on him and upgrade some of these to Hoff, maybe if you want to really make him an in-game defensive card, but the tendencies aren't extraordinary. Tendencies don't matter. None of these cards have 99 tendencies. Like, it's really not a difference maker right now. I do believe wingspan at 7 foot as well. James Worthy's player build is humongous. I think he's as good as it gets defensively. He's so good on the defensive end. Like, that's what that card is so valuable for. Number 1, though, it's got to be honest. He's a 7-footer. He can play power forward center. He's incredibly fast. He's a 96 speed power forward with 96 interior, perimeter, lateral, steal, and 95 block. Insane defensive hops. Every badge in the game on at least gold defensively. He is unbelievably good on the defensive end of the court. His animations are always extraordinary as well. Tendency-wise, nothing insane, but it doesn't really matter because none of these guys have great defensive tendencies. It'll be interesting to see if we start seeing God tendencies on cards and if that really makes a difference later on in the year. But with the way that off-ball defense is as good as it is, these types of guys, you put them on ball, you forget about it, they'll be fine. Whoever they're guarding, they will be chilling. And the thing is, all these guys are top-tier cards in the offensive end of the court as well, because at this point in the year, cards can do everything. So a lot of top-tier cards in this list. These are the types of guys that you want to target, though, if you're looking for locks, if you're looking at guys to fill the spots on your team, if you're looking to add some defense. These are the types of players you should be considering. And the thing is, a lot of these guys are not gambling-only cards. I mean, I know the top 5 besides Worthy is, but Tyson's free, Pippen is not, Moncrief's free, Cooper's free. Like, there's a good amount of cards in this list that are really, really good defensive cards for free. And there's a lot of other cards in the game as well that can do this type of stuff. So, as a whole, this is a good list, and I hope y'all did enjoy the video. If you did, make sure you hit that like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. I'll be back with more 2K content very, very soon, and I appreciate y'all. Peace.